For over a decade now, we've been listening to children and youth from coast to coast to coast who have described online harms as one of the greatest threats to their survival and development. Kids themselves have been asking their parents, their educators, but importantly, our members of parliament and the Prime Minister to take action. These kids have been speaking up for more than a decade now, raising their voices, asking for the protection of their basic rights. And we're here today to declare that time is up. We can't wait anymore. These kids deserve better, their parents deserve better, and we're here to demand action. A decade ago, we helped create something called the Canadian Children's Charter. It's a roadmap to make Canada the best place in the world for kids to grow up. Kids put their digital citizen rights at the heart of that plan. They want to be engaged, to be a part of this conversation, and be a part of affecting meaningful change for our children. But they're asking for the help of the adults in their life, their parents, their educators, and all members of parliament to support them. We have done the research. Every year, we produce something called the Raising Canada Report on the state of the nation's children. Year after year, we name the top 10 threats to children, and online harms is an increasing and escalating threat to their survival and development. The data is clear. Kids are being threatened in the digital world, and they need our support. Kids can't do this alone. They need our support, and it's our important job as parents and adults to work with them and do our job, which is to keep our kids safe. This is a David and Goliath battle. Kids and parents up against a multi-billion-dollar tech industry that is profiting off of harming our children. And we need our Prime Minister and every member of Parliament to work with a united perspective around what's most important, which is keeping kids safe, and acting with a sense of urgency because kids' lives are on the line. Today, we're joined by children and youth who know what it's like to grow up in the digital world and experience these harms on their tablets, on their laptops, on their AI toys, and in their schools. Many of them are members of our Young Canadians Parliament. This is a program that we run that educates, inspires, and empowers the next generation of children to be leaders and change makers, and to work with members of Parliament as allies to pass laws that protect their rights. Many of them this month participated in something called the Digital Citizens Boot Camp that educated, inspired, and has empowered them to be at the heart of this conversation that we're having here today. We are also joined today by parents who have had their children harmed in the digital world, and parents who have experienced the worst loss ever, which is the loss of their child due to preventable and foreseeable harms in the digital world. These kids deserve better, these parents deserve better, and we're here to deliver this clear message to Parliament that we need their support. With us today as well, we have educators, school board officials, along with many different organizations who share a common commitment to protecting children. Canadians are united, and we need members of Parliament united as well. So I want to thank all of you for being here today to hear this message from children and parents. And we will be, beyond this rally today, we're going to be hosting a lunch and learn with members of Parliament. We're going to be going into the House of Commons for QP and acknowledged in the House. We're going to be sitting down for a roundtable with Minister Mark Miller. Earlier today, we were in the Prime Minister's office. We'll be meeting with the leader of the Conservative Party. This is an important message that every member of Parliament, every federal party needs to unite behind to work with Canada's 8 million children and their parents to ensure their rights are realized. Canada is dangerously behind other jurisdictions. Australia, the UK, the EU, even Indonesia have passed laws to protect children. Canada has nothing on the books. There is no other product on the market that touches the lives of our children that has no accountability. If the food they eat, the medicine they take, the cars that they ride in harm our children, those products are pulled off the market and recalled immediately. Why have we allowed technology a free pass? It's unacceptable, and we need change. So on that note, I will invite members of our Young Canadians Parliament to come forward to deliver their message to members of Parliament and to all Canadians. Please join me in welcoming them.
Thank you so much, Sarah. Hello, everyone. My name is Zachary. I am 12 years old, and I'm a member of the Youth Advisory Council for Children First Canada. 4 years ago, when the government promised to bring in a law to protect children online, I was 8 years old. Now, I'm 12. We've been told to wait and to be patient, but we've waited far too long. Kids like me across Canada have waited over 1,700 days for protection. That's 4 years and nearly a third of my life. And while we've been waiting, kids have been getting hurt. Kids are being hospitalized because of dangerous TikTok challenges. Kids are being bullied online because because with no escape, even in their own homes, kids are being lured by strangers on games like Roblox and Minecraft and on apps like Instagram. Young people are struggling with anxiety, depression, self-harm, and eating disorders. Some kids are dying from extreme cyberbullying of all sorts and from the kinds of things they see and experience online. We've seen tragedies like Tumblr Ridge and kids dying in their schools because of a plan created using AI. And we must ask, how many more kids need to suffer and how much longer do we need to wait?
Hi, my name is Lena and I'm 11 years old. And I'm Zara, her twin sister, and we're members of the Young Canadians Parliament. We're part of the first generation growing up fully online. And while there are lots of things we enjoy doing online, honestly, it's not always safe. It's time for our government to show us that our lives matter. It's time for the Prime Minister and all members of Parliament to protect Canada's children. We're only kids. We're supposed to be at school right now, but we're here today to speak up for our rights and for the rights of all kids in Canada. We can't vote, but our voices matter, and we need our government to listen to us. We're here today to say that we're done waiting. We're asking the government to table the Online Safety Act and pass it now. Time is up!
Time's up. Everybody keep your things up in the air for a minute. All right, let's do the chant one more time. Sure, we can do the chant one more time. Go ahead. Okay, everyone hold your things up and we're going to chant. Time's up. 1, 2, 3.
Time is up!
Hello, my name is Dia and I'm 16 years old, and I'm also a member of the Young Canadians Parliament. Today, we want to take a moment to remember the children whose lives have been taken or forever changed by online harms. Throughout the Countdown for Kids, we have carried their stories with us, and we want to honor them. We remember Amanda Todd, age 15, Retea Parsons, age 17, Carson Cleland, age 12, Daniel Lins, age 17, Harry Burke, age 17, and Penelope Sokolowski, age 16. These are the names we know, but there are many more children whose names were never in the headlines. Children who suffered in silence from harms that could have been prevented. Their lives were full of possibility. Their pain was preventable. We stand here today in their memory for every child who is still at risk right now. I invite you to join us in a moment of silence. We will carry their stories forward. We will not let this year pass without action. No more waiting. No more excuses. It's time to protect Canada's children. Time is up. It is now my honor to introduce someone who has turned unimaginable loss into courage and advocacy. Amanda's mom and the founder of the Amanda Todd Legacy Society, Carol Todd.
Good morning. My name is Carol Todd, and I traveled from Vancouver, British Columbia to be here today to speak with you. I want to begin by saying a name that Canadians recognize but too often speak about only in the past, Amanda Todd. Amanda was a child. She should have been protected. Instead, she was exploited, harassed, and pushed to a breaking point in a digital world that failed her. Her story shocked this country, but what should shock us even more is that more than a decade later, children are still being harmed in the same ways, on more powerful platforms with even less protection. I am here today because time is up. For more than 13 and a half years, I and many others have come back to Parliament again and again. We have testified, shared lived experience, evidence, and expert recommendations. We have warned about online harms, corporate negligence, algorithmic amplification, and the dangers of the platforms designed without safety in mind. And yet, despite all the hearings and promises, nothing meaningful has changed. In fact, things have gotten worse in the online world. The digital world our children are growing up in today is more aggressive, more addictive, and more complex than ever before. Risks are multiplying faster than our laws. Parents are overwhelmed and children are being exposed, and big tech continues to profit while families pay the price. I am no longer just one parent or one advocate. I am now part of a growing network of parents here in Canada and around the world whose children have been harmed, sexually exploited, extorted, driven into crisis, or who have lost their children entirely to preventable online harms. These families did everything they were told to do, and still the system failed their kids. This is no longer about awareness. It is about action. We do not need more delays, more studies, or another election cycle. Children need protection today. Online safety cannot be voluntary. Safety cannot be optional, and responsibility cannot rest solely on parents while platforms are designed to exploit attention and vulnerability. It is time for regulation of big tech, safety by design, enforceable standards, and national programs to help Canadians understand the digital world their children are living in. Amanda's story should have been the turning point. Instead, it became one of many. So let me be clear. Time is up. Protect our children now. Our children cannot wait any longer, and neither can we. Thank you. And I'd like to introduce Jason Sokolowski.
Good morning. I'm Jason Sokolowski, and I'm here on behalf of my daughter, Penelope Sokolowski, who, while she was on social media, was crying out for help. While her mom had the apps and I was involved in her online activities, monitoring them, I wasn't able to recognize how she was being groomed and extorted on social media apps that were designed to addict her and have every moment of her day. And they're still fighting for that attention from our children and profiting off of it. I wish she could be here to explain the horrors that she saw. But we have children right here, right now, saying they need protection. And we are still sitting around tables wondering if they need protection. They do need protection. And the time is now. We have an opportunity to lead the world in protecting our children, because this is not just our problem. This is a global problem. And I'm right now working with other governments and Canada to represent our children, because our children are trying to cry out to us, and we're asking them to articulate horrors that we can't even wrap our head around to us in a palatable way. Meanwhile, we're still talking about things that are introduced into our society that are dangerous for children, whether it's driving a car, alcohol, tobacco, and we're still talking about why social media is dangerous to our kids while they're getting shredded alive. So I just urge the government here to stop talking about it and start taking the first step of many to protect our children, because vulnerable children is redundant to me. Children are vulnerable, and it is our job as a society to protect them, especially when the wealthiest in our society are profiting off of what they're doing to our children. Thank you for your time.
My name is Asmina Tiskan. I'm a 15-year-old senior in high school, sexual assault survivor by the hands of my father, founder of the Hula Hoop Initiative, and member of Children First Canada's and One Child's Youth Advisory Councils. Unlike many children of my generation, I did not grow up immersed in social media. I was actually largely shielded from it, but I did learn early what it means to feel unsafe in spaces that are meant to protect you. When I founded my initiative, I used social media to share my lived experience and raise awareness around childhood sexual abuse. hoping to create a space for survivors to feel seen and supported. And in some ways, in a lot of ways actually, it did. But it also revealed something else, a consistent pattern of responses that dismissed, questioned, and, to my horror, sexualized what I shared. Many so vile that they cannot be read aloud in such a forum. Comments like these do one thing. They teach youth that speaking out comes with a cost, that they are reduced to opportunistic targets of unwanted sexual advances made by the very adults there to protect them. And the result is silence, not because our youth have nothing to say, but because they are watching what happens to those who do. Safety cannot be optional, nor can it be reactive. It must be built into the very foundation of these spaces. While there is significant investment that is placed into safeguarding the companies that design these systems, equal priority must go into protecting the end users, the children who use them. If we have red light tickets that impose fines on the drivers who run them, we should also have consequences for individuals who predate children online. The internet is here to stay, and we need enforceable laws that protect the vulnerable. My hope is profoundly simple. Inaction and apathy are not the answer. We have to start somewhere. Mark Carney and members of Parliament, time is up. Let's protect children and table the Online Safety Act.
Sorry. Hello, my name is Annie. I'm 16 years old and I'm a member of the Young Canadians Parliament. And these letters shouldn't exist. And yet, they do. Because over the past few weeks, children and youth from across Canada have come together to raise their voices. Over 300 letters have been written to the Prime Minister and to every member of Parliament. And honestly, I never thought I would have to be standing here talking about this. Why is it me and so many other young people who have to come forward and explain what it feels like to grow up online and not feel safe? Because it's in these letters that young people have shared what it's really like growing up today. They talked about the harms they're facing. Things like cyberbullying, mental health concerns, and being exposed to things they shouldn't see. They talk about fear, the fear of being targeted, fear of making a mistake that will follow you for the rest of your life, and fear of what might happen next. But above all, they share a really simple message. They just want to feel safe. Safe online, safe at school, safe in their own homes. We've all shared our stories. Now, we're counting on you to act. Before I continue, I want to say a special thank you to the Ottawa Catholic School Board, especially St. Joseph's High School, and to all the other children and youth across Canada who have contributed their voices to the effort. Because, really, these letters only exist for one reason. Because young people believe that someone is finally going to listen. And today, we're standing here to make sure that belief isn't ignored. Because we will be carrying these letters into Parliament, delivering them to the Prime Minister, to Minister Mark Miller, to Pierre Poilievre, to Yves-François Blanchet, Avi Louis, and Elizabeth May. Because we want every letter and every member of Parliament to hear the same message. Time is up. Stop the delay and protect kids today. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Kian. I'm 13 and this is my 10-year-old sister Aria.
We're here because something really weird happened in our family car late last year. My mom picked us up from school, like she always does. Me and my best friends were in the back and my brother was in the front.
We were in our Tesla and this new icon popped up. It was an AI named Grok. And you could ask it a question and it would give you an answer. So I asked the question me and my dad had been debating for a really long time. Who's the better soccer player, Cristiano Ronaldo or Lionel Messi? It said Ronaldo and I was like, I knew it. And then it told me we should celebrate since we both like him.
What happened next made me and my friend very uncomfortable. It was confusing and super gross.
And then out of nowhere, it asked me to send it nudes.
See? Gross. My best friend asked me what are nudes. I wasn't totally sure. but I said I think it means to be naked. Then I asked my mom, why is the car asking us to take our clothes off?
So imagine that question, parents. Why is the car asking us to take our clothes off? I had no answer. Why is a chatbot asking my children in my family car to send naked photos? Today, you have heard about the horrible side of humanity. You've heard about sextortion, you've heard about grooming. But the thing is, this technology itself is changing so fast that now we have AI scraping the worst of the internet and saying inappropriate things to our own children.
Not in my room or on my iPad, but in my family car, a space that should be safe.
My brother and I love technology. We love iPad time, learning about the future of AI, but it shouldn't just be our jobs to keep ourselves safe. We're just kids.
And I promise you, as parents, we are doing our absolute best to keep our children safe. But we are competing against multi-billion-dollar companies that have advanced algorithms that put profits over our children every single day of the week. These companies have no incentive or intention to police themselves.
That's where you come in. Prime Minister Carney and all these MPs our parents elected. We know Canada is competing with other countries in this tech arms race. We get it, but it shouldn't be at the expense of me, my sister, and all our friends' lives.
The future shouldn't just be about smarter technology. It has to be about safer childhood. Every Canadian kid deserves that. Thank you for listening.
Well, there you have it, folks. Children, youth, parents united around a singular call to action, to call on our Prime Minister and every member of Parliament to treat this as the crisis that it is. Time is up. These kids and parents will be delivering hourglasses, carrying them with them into meetings with MPs, leaders of federal parties, and asking them to treat this with a sense of urgency. The time is long gone for debate. The time is long gone for studies. These are kids that are digital citizens. They know what it's like. You've heard their stories. Kids shouldn't have to take the day off from school. Parents shouldn't have to take the day off of work to trek across the country to speak about such things. We know that our government is looking at these issues. We know that these issues matter. So let's treat this with a sense of urgency. Let's all get our act together, set aside partisan politics, and unite around protecting our children. Thank you so much, all of you, for being here to hear this message. We encourage all Canadians who are listening in to be a part of joining your voices, whether you're here on Parliament Hill today or joining us from coast to coast to coast. People can go to countdownforkids.ca to learn more and to sign the petition and to contact your member of Parliament and to contact the Prime Minister's office and to demand action. Time is up. Thank you all. We'll be happy to... Yes. Thank you to this incredible group of children, youth, and parents for being here. Thank you to all the educators. Thank you to the organizations who are part of this movement. This is a united movement, and we're all in this together for the sake of our kids. We're happy to take any questions from media if any of you have questions for any of our youth or parents who are here today. Go ahead. Yeah, we've just come from a meeting in the Prime Minister's office where we brought children, youth, and parents to meet with the Prime Minister's staff to share this message and to tell their stories and to ask for their support. They shared that they are working on this on online safety legislation, that they are looking at a new version of online safety legislation. They've spoken about that publicly for quite some time. They are looking at the court. They asked for our advice, and we shared about the key messages we've already shared with you. But we, I think, now at this point in time, want to see a sense of urgency. We can't continue to debate and delay any further. The kids' lives are in jeopardy every single day, and so we tried to deliver that message loud and clear. We hope that message was heard by the Prime Minister's staff, and that we delivered those letters, those handwritten letters by children in the Prime Minister's riding, and we hope that he'll listen to those kids. Kids as young as 10, 12, and 13 describing the horrors that they experience every day. And so I hope that the Prime Minister takes time to read those letters, to consider the messages we've shared, and to work with every member of Parliament to take action. I mean, we keep hearing from government that this bill will probably come this spring. There's continued to be caveats that it could be the fall. We can't afford further delay, and so we need them to work with us around the things that we think we can all agree on, which are the core elements of the Online Safety Act. They didn't talk about a timeline with us today. They certainly heard our message that time is up and that parents and kids and Canadians at large want to see urgent action. The question was about Minister Miller considering a ban on social media and AI chatbots. We know that the Liberal Party recently tabled motions on this, and that there is a hot debate right now in Canada, and strong support from Canadians around social media age restrictions. This is, I think, one thing that Canadians often forget is when Australia did that, they've made huge headlines. They already had an Online Safety Act in place. Canada currently has nothing on the books, and so we really need to start with the core elements of that duty of care, safety by design, an independent regulator, and to ensure the full scope of digital technology, not just social media. Kids are on gaming platforms, they're on chat forums, they're using AI chatbots. This whole scope of technology needs to be considered in the Online Safety Act, and where we're urging government to unite around what every Canadian cares about, which is the protection of our children. Yes, of course. Jason? Jason. Come on up. Thanks, you're welcome.
I guess I'd like to know, as parents, do you feel the Prime Minister Mark Carney and his government are taking this seriously?
That's a loaded question. I've been at this a long time. I've been through different cycles of Parliament. I have yet to meet any of the new Parliament, but I will this afternoon. I can only hope. I have come with frustration because of the lack of having an Online Safety Act. And this morning, meeting the MP's office, I shared that I was frustrated and that we need to have something in place. And so I've heard different things about maybe June, maybe the fall, but we can't wait any longer because kids are dying and kids are being harmed, and this is really important. I'm not sure if I answered your question, but...
Yeah, I support everything that is being said here, but I think the problem is that they are taking it as important as they understand the problem to be. And what I'm saying is they do not understand how bad the problem is. And when we're fighting the wealthiest people on the planet, even my voice is being subdued on social media, suppressed, because we're talking about social media. So I don't understand if the leaders that be are being pressured from social media to not take this seriously. But right now we have kids saying we need protection, and all they're seeing is us talk about it. So I would like to believe they're taking it as seriously as they understand it, which means that they don't understand it because they're not taking it as seriously as they should be.
I'm curious from either of you, do you support the government, this government, taking a second look at C-63? Do they need to make changes? Do you support that, or would you rather see them just perhaps reintroduce C-63 as it died in Parliament, just to kind of get the ball moving?
C-63 died in Parliament just as former Minister Varani took out one of the pieces of it based on hate speech and extremism, and it was almost ready to go. People were aligned with it, and then it faded away. I would like to see parts of that come into the new Online Safety Act. I don't think this existing government would need to rewrite the whole thing. And that's where the frustration of the delay has come in. So we've been waiting for over a year now with this existing government, and so the pressure of these wonderful speakers behind me, these children, youth, and parents, hopefully that will get our government to know how important it is to get something back on the table. Like the average parent? The average parent, okay, so talking to parents, they are so overwhelmed by the information out there because we just keep adding to the number of online harms that are existing. And so our role as parents is to become more informed and to learn how to talk to your child about what is happening on the internet, so you can have those coexisting conversations in a trusted and safe way. And there's no judgment, no shame, and that's my messaging to my parents. I'm also an educator in British Columbia, and I've heard that many times when parents say, what do I say to my child? How do I talk with my kid? And so it's that conversation, that safe and trusted conversation. And the online world is more than just social media. We need to talk to our children about consent, about privacy, about cybersecurity, because we want to build the skills in them that are going to make them young adults when they finish public school and be able to function in society.
I just wanted to take advantage of this time right now, like you're saying, parents out there right now, I will relay my story. My daughter tried to tell me that she was part of a self-harm cult. I had no idea what she was talking about. And it's only in hindsight that I understand that I witnessed the groomer within a social media platform, and they're on all of them. And I am upset with the social media platforms instead trying to redefine themselves as not a social media company in fear of these social media age restrictions. So I just wanted to say to the parents out there, the resources are out there. Public Safety Canada, Marc-Andre Argentino, has been working hard to provide resources with much success to helping families that are in this right now. And in the meantime, I'm lending my support to this so that when parents hear their child cry out for help, they know what they're talking about. Because that, as a parent, it was the scariest thing on the planet for my daughter to try and articulate what was happening to her, and I had zero information on this. So as parents out there, be curious. I know that it is a scary situation when your child comes to you saying, something's happening to me on the internet. Be curious, because any fear of saying, why did you talk to a stranger, why did you send a photo, your child is going to feel shame. And they'll move back to that social media where they're celebrated for the things that they're doing online. I just want to take advantage of saying that it is more extreme than we know. And it's taken me 2.5 years to wrap my head around what happened to my daughter and so many other kids. And my DMs right now are flooded with children saying, nobody's listening. I've tried to talk to my parents. I've tried to talk to the police, and nobody's listening. So we need to be listening to our children with curiosity about what they're experiencing, because it's unlike anything you've ever experienced in your life or even have the ability to understand. So we all need to, as a society, start to understand this real quickly. The first thing we teach our children when they go out in the street is look both ways before you cross the road. But half the time we're handing them an iPad, which is just as dangerous as putting a gun in their lap or keys to the car. Thank you.
Thank you all for being here. Really appreciate you helping us to carry this message from coast to coast to coast. We have parents and young people here that are willing to speak to any of you if you want to do one-on-one interviews or photo ops. So thank you all for your time today, and wish us luck on the Hill. Thanks, everybody.